Hello and welcome back to Making It Out of the Woods. This week I'm making an owl from a lump of yew. Not you, I mean yew log. So first things first, let's find the centre. That's roughly it. Okay, let's get some wood whirling underway. So here I'm just stripping off some bark because in a moment I'm going to make a tenon. I'm making a tenon so that I can turn the log around and mount it more securely in a natural chuck. There we go, that's the tenon ready. I just need to turn the log around, pop out the centre that's currently in my headstock, screw on the chuck. The log is now securely in the chuck, bringing up the tailstock for some support, and off I go. Here I'm just starting to shape the main body of the owl. I don't want the shape to be too defined, I just want a gentle sloping shoulder going to a chunky round head, chunky little body, and hopefully some sort of foot section. Here I'm starting to take out the dimple that was left by the tailstock, and I'll slowly start to work on making the head a little bit more round. You can see the shape coming together from this angle, the head's rounded off, the dimple's disappearing. I'm just continuing to work on the main shape. Here I'm coming in with my carbide bead cutting tool. It's a relatively new tool to me and I'm just trying to get to grips with it, and I'm finding it really versatile. So that's my shape cut. I've left the bark on it purposely because I think it looks like feathers and wings. Now I'm onto the sanding. I need to be really gentle with the sanding because I don't want to sand that bark off. I also want a smooth finish on the areas I do want to sand, so it is a little bit tricky, takes some time, some hand sanding once the lathe stops spinning, and just being careful really. As usual, working up through the grits, I always start around 240, 320, 400, then I'll pop on some cellulose sanding sealer, which raises the grain and helps you get into those bits which still look a little bit rough. Once the sanding sealer is dry, you come back at it with 400 grit and just gently take off the surface really. Now it's time to part the body of the owl off. This is the first time I actually part it off completely on the lathe without using the Japanese saw. I was quite pleased with myself, it wasn't too bad, left a tiny nub on the base of the owl, but I just pushed a chisel over that and it came off really simply. That will do. Okay, so now I mount up another small piece of yew that I had in the lathe between my centres. But once I turn a tenon, the same process as the larger log, I can turn it around and pop it into my mini chuck. Now this is the section that I'll use to make the nose. Beak. Beak. Owls have beaks, not noses. Imagine an owl with a nose. Oh, freaky. Here's the nose. Probably a little bit unnecessary to have the tailstock up at this point, but I thought why not? It's there and it didn't do any harm. A bit of final sanding and shaping, and that's the beak done. I am leaving a small tenon on the nose because that will make it easier when I come to position it on the main body. I'll drill a hole and it will also hopefully give it a little bit of purchase whilst the glue dries. I know I just called it a nose again. So this is a blank of something spalted, and this one fits directly in my large chuck, so I can pop it in, get it to round really quickly, and this is the blank that I will start to form the eyes from. So I'm using my beading tool again to try to make an angled back. This really, I suppose, is the back of what will be a cup shape. I'll take the angle down to the back. I'll do this twice over because obviously I need two eyes. And once I've got the angle happy at the back, I'll come around the front and take away some material on the face of the blank and essentially form a concave shape. That's one eye almost done, but I do need to drill a hole and remember where the centre is because I'll need that hole a little bit further along in the video. You'll see why. At this point I'm giving the eye a nice sanding and making myself some space ready to part it off. But before I get to parting it off, I apply some cellulose sanding sealer and go back over it with 400 grit. This just gives it a nicer finish. I'll leave you in peace to watch the rest of the eye process, and I'll come back to you in a minute. And I'm back. That's the eyes done. Let's go and put the beak in place. So here I'm using a magical awl because it appears on the desk, see? To mark the place where I want to put the beak. Then I drill myself a small hole just to take the tenon, pop a little bit of glue on the end of the tenon first, and push it into place. Now back to the eyes, and here are the eyes that go inside the eyes. That's why I needed the holes in the eyes. Are you with me? You can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now all that's left to do is to get the eyes attached. Take him outside to apply some finish, and then we'll see some beauty shots. I applied some acrylic sealer just for some protection because I couldn't use any wax because obviously I couldn't rub it into the areas with the bark. So you must be ready to see the final product. Here he is, my owl from a log of you. I think he's really cute, but more importantly, what do you think of him? This one needs a name as well. I wasn't sure I could pull this project off, but it just goes to show if you don't try, you don't know. Please, if you like the video, like and subscribe. Subscribing costs nothing and it really helps me out. As always, thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, and I'll see you on the next one. Remember, stay foxy.